Greetings, everyone. Let me apologize for the sound in the background. There is some work being done. Now, this is a message, hopefully, that will help you really think about some things. You see, there's always this line of demarcation. There's always a kind of slippery slope that we might find ourselves on. And so at this time, you must know who you are and what you're about. I'm not sure if anyone noticed, but right now it's a period where people are actually afraid to own the fact that they are people of faith. If you're not careful, you're going to get to the point where you're thinking that to be of faith or be someone who believes in some kind of spirituality is a bad thing. Because what we've seen is the shutting down of sanctuaries and, people, we're all spiritual beings. And hence the reason why there's always these different type of religious beliefs in the world, because there's a fire in us that draw us to itself. And in the process of being drawn, we find what we consider as our creator. There are people who are atheists that don't believe in any God. There are people who believe in the ancestors. There are people who believe in reincarnation. All of these belief systems have their place. And I might not agree with yours or believe in what you believe in, but you should have the right, as is written in the code of law, to your own religious, feelings or belief system, that is. And nowadays, if you're not careful, you start to see a belief in, spiritual things or a creator as something that's bad. It's a very dangerous thing we're seeing. So I notice even people who were dabbling in certain kind of cult like, or what is referred to as cult like activities, these ones are coming out showing their face. They're shameless and criticizing the very thing that they're involved in. Again, I'm going to tell you, the ones who speak the loudest against anything are the ones who are most involved in it. Don't pay attention to them ones who make it seem like, oh, I'm against this. People need something to believe in. And I think if you're open to knowing and learning about spirituality, then you're going to be led. I believe that the spirits of our ancestors come back and bear us message and bring us news or information. And I will never be ashamed to say that. I believe that there is something greater than me. And when I say something, it's just a loose way of saying I believe in spirit beings. I've shared. I will never distance myself from the idea that those who are from our lineage, when they transcend, they are very useful to us, even more than when they were alive. When they join the spirit realm, they're able to protect and, help us more than ever. So for my friends that lost their mom and were really grieving last week, I had to say to you, she's still here. Because when I watched the procession at the funeral, I saw so many things. It was so awesome. The girl is telling about her relationship with her mom and some of the lessons her mom teach her. And, while she's sharing the story about a song her mom used to sing when they were having this discussion, the thing fell off the podium. No one was close to it. It was a mic standing on its own, and it fell off on the ground as she told the story. And then another lady was going to, testify of our relationship with her. And all of a sudden, the lady said, I don't feel well. And the lady got ill and she couldn't finish doing the eulogy. And so a loved one of the dearly departed mother and friend of mine was able to finish it. And in my mind, she wanted that person to speak the last words over her. These are my beliefs. I don't care. I give zero what anybody else thinks about what I feel or think. You do understand? And listen, when you speak this way, people are afraid to even associate with you because, even if it's what they're feeling, they're ashamed to admit it. There was a lady that I used to sit on the bus with when I was coming home from work in the evenings, and she started telling me that, Jesus said this and Jesus said that. And I was like, okay, that's great. I like to listen. Like I say, I study with people. I study with Jehovah's Witness, anybody who wants to talk about what they believe, their spiritual beliefs. I'm open to it. And so when she was saying this to me, I said, but how do you know this? I kept asking her questions. So where did you hear this? Or how did you find this out? And she says, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask my pastor. And when I saw her next, she ran for cover. Now some people say good for her. I didn't tell her this is not right or you shouldn't believe these things. I asked her, how do you know that? And she was relying on her pastor to tell her. And I knew when she went and told him the questions I was asking, he would tell her to run for cover, and it was confirmed. When I saw her after that, she tried to have a conversation with me, and I really ignored her because I don't like people who are not open. You don't know everything. You don't know everything. And if everything that you know is based on what someone else tells you and not what you experience, then I have an issue with you. Every one of us is supposed to search to find meaning. So in this time, what we are seeing is the proliferation of stories to make it seem that if you are connected to anything that is outside of yourself, if you're connected to any idea that there is our ones, the energies or matter that controls our destiny or controls our reality is a better word, then I have to start looking at these ones with a side eye because we clearly see that there are individuals in the earth who wants to take the position of what we refer to as God, our creator, or spirit beings. People want to overturn the laws of nature and inject themselves in it to where they become the main source. And so, in order for you to take your eyes off what is great, what is supreme, and put it on them, that thing, that yearning, that desire to go to the source, to go to nature to find the truth, it's going to be demonized. And it is being demonized. Now, people are afraid to say what they believe or what they're associated with. And so you'll find people who are truth speakers, people who are very spiritual, they have to go undercover. It is beginning to look like a witch hunt for what they did back in the day. Remember, in the past, you have someone like Joan of Arc. You have individuals who were very spiritual, who knew how to heal. These ones were demonized and called witches or wizards. Okay, so if you're not careful, a message will come to you or a messenger will be sent to you, and you will reject that because you're looking to answer from people who understand some things that you don't understand, and they're using it for their betterment to empower themselves, as is a case where our spirituality was used against us. And we were given stuff that we couldn't identify with. The spirits within that could not identify with us. And so we were left out here looking in the wilderness with our arms folded, with many questions, wandering through the wilderness and never entering paradise. What do you think that means? Listen, the truth is being told to you in parables, but you have to get deep to understand that. And you have to ask for spiritual discernment to understand it, to understand yourself. Do not reject what you don't understand, and don't be too quick to join anybody in demonizing anything that you don't understand, because that would be purely ignorance. Anything you reject or anything you have negative things to say about and you don't understand it, that makes you foolish. Okay? So, stay blessed.